In moments of tragedy, such as the one that we're living right now in Arizona and in the country, arts and culture always plays an essential role. So tonight, Ernesto Llerena is going to show us how to make images out of a stencil. And we plan to use this stencil so that communities across the country use it to begin the healing process. Not just about the latest tragedy, but the tragedy of the thousands and thousands of families that have been separated. So brothers and sisters, in the face of tragedy in Arizona, we're asking communities across the country to hold vigils, press conferences, teachings, and tonight Ernesto Llerena is going to show us how to make images for peace through a stencil. So thanks to Ernesto Llerena again, and thanks to all the artists that have contributed to Alto Arizona. Because as I said, in the face of tragedy, in the face of oppression, arts and culture become tools for healing, tools for liberation, and tools for organizing.
So today we're going to need a poster board, the stencil template, spray paint, we're going to need spray adhesive, an X-Acto holder, and regular number 11 blades. We're going to need a squeegee or a credit card, and if you have one, a brayer. Place the template as best as you can on top of the board, and try to line it up with the edges as best as you can. And if you have two people, it's always easier to get the template, spray the back of it with spray adhesive, and then on each side have someone just kind of gently drop it. But usually I don't have someone around, so you got to figure out different ways to do it. So this is the way I do it. And depending on how big, if I'm making bigger pieces, I'll use buckets of paint or something that's heavier. But for now, I'm gonna get two spray cans, and I'm gonna put it on like about halfway in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be able to have access to one side. Then I'm gonna take my spray adhesive, and I'm gonna spray a pretty heavy coat of it all the way at the bottom. And as I drop it, I'm gonna mount just the front of it. Then I'm gonna finish. So after you mount to the one side, now this is already mounted, and you can see you can pick it up. I'm gonna grab it, flip it around, do the same thing. Now get the other side. Make sure that you can pull it back a little. Make sure that you get everything. The same thing again. Maybe. And there's always a chance you might get a little bubbles or a little bit of wrinkles, but it doesn't matter. Happens all the time. X-Acto blade number 11. Let's do it. You could just cut on either on a cutting mat or on this table. Don't use your dinner table, because you will leave marks on it. Now that we finished cutting the stencil, we can start to spray it. And just a couple notes before we actually spray it. Just know that you can only get like 10 10 or so sprays from this one, from each stencil, and then you gotta hold off and let it dry. Let the paint on top dry for a little bit, and then you can use it later again. But what I usually do is I save the first one that I paint, and I use that as my next template. And that one I don't even have to mount it. It's already on the paper. So here we go. Line it up. Make sure it's the right size. And you can pick up the stencil with this, and I only apply a little bit of spray adhesive only along the edges of the actual cuts. Right here you wouldn't need any. It would be useless and you'd waste spray adhesive. So you spray a little bit, and you put it down. So once it touches down, it's like tape, you know, it'll get stuck. And the best way to lift it up is almost so you gotta pick it up that way. So that's pretty good. This one's like one color stencil. We don't need to register anything. It doesn't have to be completely perfect. Just as best as you can get it. And you can use a brayer. If you don't have a brayer, you can use a credit card or a squeegee. You might get paint on it later on after it's already had coats of paint. So I always use a brayer, and look how much paint it has on it. So be careful of what you use. And then some paint. Peel it up from the corner. And if you have someone to help you with that, it's a little easier, but you can always do it yourself. So here's the final one. So there you go, this is how you make a stencil. So we're gonna spray another one. We can use a different color. Just I think I need a little bit of more, a little bit of spray adhesive, not too much. It always works. Take the brayer. If I don't have a brayer, you can use anything. You can use your fingers. Just make sure you're gonna get paint on your hands. And this one, when I think of peace, I think of reggae music. So I'm gonna do one. I don't even know if this is the right sequence. Okay, thanks for watching. Hopefully you're motivated and you got the ganas to create some stencils, or create your own image and then create some stencils. Send us photos of your posters. We'd love to see them. Send them to altoarizona.com.